Welcome everybody to the Murdock Manwaring and Cardon monthly market update. Thanks for joining us today. We are covering the real estate market for Southeast Idaho for February 2025. These are the stats that we're going to go over on how the market's looking, maybe give some predictions, and we're going over Bonneville, Bingham, Jefferson, and Madison counties. So if you are in the market to sell or buy real estate, this might really apply to you. But keep in mind, this is the overall market stats. We would love to talk to you specifically about your home and your needs and how this applies to you. So tune in and give us a call. We'd love to help you buy or sell. If you'd like to receive this email or this video in an email with the slides, go ahead and go to mmcidaho.com and click at the top, get the newsletter. So let's get started. We're going to start with Bonneville County. So this is where Idaho Falls is located, and this is kind of our largest area in Southeast Idaho. And here's what happened in February. So interesting, we are down 23% in closed home sales. So as we see that, we've kind of been down month over month. Closed home sales, we're hoping to see the predictions are coming up that we're going to increase in sales this next year. So we'll watch for that. But as of now, based on February of last year, we were down 23% in actual home sales. Interestingly enough, we're also down on new listings. So how many new homes came on the market versus last year in February? We were up in January, but we're down in February. So that's how we build inventory and have more homes to sell, which leads us to days on market. How long does it take from the time that house hits the market till it goes under contract, what we call pending? Those days, it's kind of flat, 7 days difference. So based on last year in February versus this year in February, we're looking very similar, 7 days difference, 7 days down. So that's pretty good. It just means, keep in mind, you could be around a couple months before your home sells. So if you want it to go faster, get a little more aggressive on your home sell price, which leads us to home prices. Home prices, so this is super interesting, and maybe we can have some of our agents pipe in. Home sale price is up. So the average sale price of the homes that have sold, so those number of homes, the 102 homes that sold in February, the average sale price was $418. In February of 2024, it was $396. So we're up 5%. Any ideas, guys, on that?
It's just interesting to see that our price point continue to be as stable as it is, with our reduction in sales each year, our days on market going up, our absorption rate going up, but yet prices continue to be somewhat stable, and in this case up 5% over last year. So
yeah, I think it's super interesting to know that we still have people buying. If you think that the market is rolling backwards because the rates were too high, as you look, rates are pretty much the same as they were last year. If rates are too high, does that mean that the prices are going to come down? Look at that, up 5% over last year in February, even though we were down in closed home sales. So you're going to want to know specifically on your house how that affects your price, but don't get that feeling of prices are going down. That's not happening now. Imagine if interest rates do drop, and all of those buyers that have been waiting for those prices to drop rush back into the market. What do we generally happen with sale? What do we see with prices when we have a lot of buyers and not that much inventory because our new listings are down? What happens?
Home prices go up.
Home prices go up. So very good. So if
when you have more demand,
exactly right,
the price goes up. And that also, we need to remember as you're looking at these stats that these are about home sales. This is not your specific value. If you want a value on your house, give us a call. These are for home sales and what's happening in the sales market, not necessarily what your value of your house is. So don't get too scared.
Correct. People that are not buying cheaper homes. They are buying, we're actually up in the average price of what they're buying. Yep, exactly right, Nicole. And so that leads us down to absorption rate. So this is giving us a temperature on the market. Are we in a buyer's market or a seller's market or a balanced market? So the absorption rate is how many months if no new buyers or no new homes entered the market. Based on the amount of homes sold in the past couple months, how long till we be out of houses on the market? And this is the temperature of how hot the market is. So we are up 1.3 months of inventory, which means we are gaining absorption. We are moving from a seller's toward a buyer's market. So that's what a little indication is we're moving toward that balance, more toward a buyer's market. But again, it's going to be specific to what your home is. So this gives you an idea. This gets us down to what is more like your home. So you look at what the home value for your home is, and you might see a little specifics about your price point. You can see in our home sale prices under 500,000. If you look to the far right in the orange column, our absorption rate is 2.6. A balanced market is 4 to 6 months, and a buyer's market is 6 months and above. We are still in a seller's market below 500. But now we creep into that 500 to $1 million. Now we're looking a little more balanced. Again, looking at that absorption rate, that far right column. We're looking at like a little more balanced. The buyer doesn't have the advantage. The seller doesn't have the advantage. It's a very balanced market. So buyers, you can't ask for the moon. Sellers, you got to have your house in good condition to compete in the market. Now get us above $1 million. We've moved all the way into a buyer's market. 9.5 months of inventory. You've got to do your best and be your best because that's a buyer's market. Sellers have to take the extra effort. You got to be aggressive on price. Your condition has to be good. So that gives you a temperature. And if you look across your own value, that'll give you an idea of what's going on in your market. But we'd love to talk to you specifically about that. So that's Bonneville County.
All right. Bingham.
That's me, right?
Yeah, that's you.
Good. Well, let's talk about Bingham County. There few, the number of sales is different than Bonneville County. So just in the month of February this year, 25, there was 23 homes that sold. Last year there was 26. So another decrease. Just the number overall is a little bit different. But in Bingham County this year, we had more homes come on the market instead of the decrease that Bonneville had. So 44 this year, and days on the market, look at that, it's up quite a bit.
It's a big jump.
Big jump on how long it's taking for homes to sell. The word that comes to mind is buyer fatigue. There's pent up buyer demand and a lack of inventory over the last 10 years, maybe 8 to 10 years, where new construction starts have been lacking based on the demand. And so it's pulled existing home sale prices up. But now that rates have gone up and buyers are like, oh, the affordability's gone down, it's changed a little bit of the buyers jumping into the market and being able to afford that home price, which continues to increase year over year. So we haven't seen a big dive in any of our markets where prices have come down. We've been holding steady, and you can see the average in Bingham County is up to 403, which is 10% more on average than last February at this time. So absorption rate's gone up a little bit. So as we see more homes hit the market, and that buyer demand is still there, but waning, and it comes and goes based on rates, I think a little bit is what we're seeing. It's going to take a minute for all the homes to clear. So
it's interesting, Jeremy. It seems like in years past, Bingham County is always considerably lower than Bonneville County and the other counties. But we're seeing so far this year that the prices in Bingham County are average or somewhat similar to the rest of the Southeast Idaho. So I mean, probably not a great news for people buying, but great news for people selling.
I've said, I think Bingham County is our dark horse. If in the last 2 years, I've told everybody, watch Bingham County. It's coming.
Yeah, it's been an interesting place. So then
I had
get
some
into
people new to the area say, what's the difference between Rigby and Shelley? What's the difference between Jefferson County and Bingham County? And like Jessica said, well, Bingham County used to be, the cheapest place in Idaho to buy property. But now we see that it's doing a little bit better than Jefferson County. So a little more growth and a little more, we're just seeing a lot more people move in the South area.
Yeah,
I have to move to Arco now for that low price.
Yeah, there's always homes out in Arco and Mud Lake that seem to be deals out there. But and keep in mind, this isn't every single house has gone up 10% in the last 12 months. This is just the average for the month of February. So we could have a few outliers in that 23 number because that's how many homes sold that are pulling that price up. But holding steady, I think that's my final take on that. And then if you want to get into the specifics per price range, you can switch that slide there. You can see, you know, under 500,000, like Jessica pointed out, the absorption rate is 3.7. That blue first little section of light blue, and then that light green under there, everything from 500 to $1 million takes a little bit longer. Not a ton longer. We're still, you know, fairly balanced, maybe even on the seller's side of the market, but it does change a little bit based on price point. So
Interesting to see how many homes are selling between 500 and 700,000, which is typically a slower segment of the market. But in Bingham County, there's a lot of homes sell in that upper price range. So
yeah, most of them in that 500,000 to 600,000. There's 7 that went pending right there. It's pretty crazy. So, and 63 days on the market is a pretty good number. So you can see there's only one over that 600 to 700 at 155 days on the market. So the other ones are still active. See that? The 20 or so that are over 600,000 are active, and the days on the market are just racking up. So that's a tougher price point to be in Bingham County, or they're just priced above market. So let's move on to Madison, right? Chad, is that you?
yep, Madison County. So we didn't see many homes sell. I mean, probably the biggest drop in home you know, prices or home sales. We went from 23 homes in February 24 to 13. So yeah, not a lot of movement there. New listings were a little bit higher, so that's picking up a little bit of inventory. We saw days on market go up a lot. I mean, we're in triple digits now. So 102 days on market as opposed to 78. So, but I mean, look at this home price. I mean, we're at 388 last year. 100 grand more average sales price, up 26.2%. So, and again, like Jeremy said, this doesn't mean that everybody's home went up 26.2%, but of these 13 homes that sold, the average price was 489. So there are some big ones in there that sold. Interest rates, of course, are 6.8. And I don't know about you guys, but it seems like 6.8% last year at this time seemed a lot lower than 6.8 this year at this time, because we've seen it go lower than 6.8 and now it's back up. And so now it's almost like it seems on the high side, where 6.8 last year was like, hey, 6.8, come and grab this, you know, we're finally getting down, because we were in the 7s and 8s. So anyway, so interesting, the perception of rates. Absorption rate is gone from 2.7 to 4.0. So overall, we are seeing a more balanced market now, and all the counties are moving towards more inventory and moving away from that super tight seller's market. As far as some of these stats here, you look at these absorption rates, still really solid. Seller's market under $500,000. From 500 to 600, that's a tough one right now. You guys, you have a lot of competition if your home is for sale in that 500 to 600,000 range. 17.5 months of inventory. So yeah, that's a tough one. So I would say overall, you know, you're going to be a little more competitive, you're going to have an easier time, better seller's market, less to compete with under that 500,000 range in Madison County. So
well, and if you look at that 800 to 900,000 where they've got 40 months of inventory,
oh yeah,
that really comes down to, because there hasn't been a sale. There's no pendings, and there's only been 2 sales, but there's 12 homes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of houses between 800 and 900.
Yeah. Other than this outlier of 600 to 700,000, if you're over 500,000 in Madison, you got to be really competitive. You got to be the best one out there. Otherwise, you're not going to move. So moving on to Jefferson County, they saw also a considerable decrease in home sales. They went from 31 in February to 15, 51.6% drop in sales for that month. New listings were down 38 to 30, down 20%. This is the only county that saw days on market decrease, though.
So weird.
The ones that did sell were priced aggressively and they sold quicker. So it went from 60 to 45.
I wonder also, Chad, if that days on market based on, because there's 15 homes that sold versus 31 last year, you know, you have one outlier and it really affects your data.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some outliers that are affecting all this, including home prices, right? We know that the majority of the homes didn't sell for 468. There were probably just some outliers that brought up this average to 468. But this is the smallest change that we saw was in Jefferson County, only 5%. Well, I guess Idaho Falls, Bonneville County was similar to 5%, but from 445 to 468. And again, absorption rate is moving from 2.9 to 4.2. So we are again, every county in Southeast Idaho is moving towards a more balanced market. Do we want to see it go to a buyer's market? Whatever, you know, I mean, we eventually move and we go back and forth. Bottom line, homes are going to sell. There's going to be buyers, there's going to be sellers. It's just a different market. So the question is, how much change do we really want? If we don't want much change, then let's keep it balanced. But if we want more change, not that we control it, right? But I mean, that's really all it means. So, quite a bit of a hotter market. I mean, pretty much in Jefferson County, there are not as many listings to compete with. So really, if you're under $900,000 and you're priced right, you're in a pretty decent market. It's interesting. You're actually more listings to compete with from 300 to 600 to 700 than you do from 7 to 9. You know, that's probably you know, I mean, there's less buyers, of course, but the absorption rate's lower in that area. So. And as far as home sales go, from 250 to 600 is kind of where the majority of those homes are selling. So 5 to 600 had a good 6 months, 23 sales in that price range. So anyway, any other comments on Jefferson County?
No, I think that overall, if I was to give a one sentence synopsis of what's going on, we are moving to a balanced market, which means, you know, adjust your expectations, especially as a seller. You've got to really think about marketing. You've got to think about condition. You've got to do, you know, you're not going to be able to not fix things, and you've got to be ready to do repairs. You know, that you can't think that we're still in a seller's market to where the seller has the advantage. It's balanced. You're going to have to compete for those buyers' attention. And buyer realize, you know, balanced market also means they don't have an advantage. They can't come in and shoot for the moon. It's got to start to move to where everybody starts to come to win-wins, which is, I think, a great place to be.
You have to price competitively. I mean, you're either the one that sells or the one that helps the other one sell. And if your price is here, you don't list it 15 or 20 grand higher anymore. That usually doesn't work. So anyway, you just got to be more competitive and make sure you know your market, fit in, and you're going to sell. So, all right, Jeremy, Jess, anything else? Nicole,
No.
Mike, Jess, you want to wrap us up?
Yep, I think the key to all of this is this doesn't mean this is your home. Please call us and we can specifically talk about your situation and your home and your goals. And we'd love to chat with you about it. It is still a great time to buy, a great time to sell. Call us. We'd love to help you and get you into the home of your dreams. So this has been Jessica Cardon and all of MMC. Thanks for joining us this week and tune in next month.
Thank you.